Welcome back, guys. It's good to have you here today. In this video, I'm going to be explaining indices in the most simple and understandable way such that you'll be able to solve any problem in indices. Let's dive into the class. In today's class, I'm going to be discussing the topic indices. What is indices? Indices is the plural of index. An index, which could also be called power, is the small floating number that appears after a number or letter. Indices also shows how many times a number or letter has been multiplied by itself. Hence, 10 raised to the power of 4 is equal to 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which equals to 10,000. Then we move to the laws of indices. The multiplication law. A raised to the power of x multiplied by a raised to the power of y is equal to a raised to the power of x plus y. So this means that we're going to be adding the power, the index of these two values, provided that they have the same base. Now let's take two different kinds of examples on this law. Simplify b raised to the power of 4 multiplied by b raised to the power of 2. Now, using the multiplication law, the power to be added together. Therefore, we would have b raised to the power of 4 plus 2, which gives us b raised to the power of 6. Now let's take another example. Simplify 7x raised to the power 3 y raised to the power 2 multiplied by 2x y raised to the power of 3. Now the first thing you have to do is to deal with the numbers. 7 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 14. Remember that a equals to a raised to the power 1. So x raised to the power of 3 multiplied by x would be equal to x raised to the power of 3 multiplied by x raised to the power of 1. So according to the law of multiplication, then we add the index together. So you have x raised to the power of 3 plus 1, which gives us x raised to the power of 4. Then we move to y. Y squared times y cubed. So adding the two indexes together, we have y raised to the power of 2 plus 3, which gives us y raised to the power of 4. Therefore, 7x raised to the power of 3 y squared multiplied by 2x y cubed is equal to 14x raised to the power of 4 y raised to the power of 5. Division law, which is given as a raised to the power of x divided by a raised to the power of y, which equals to a raised to the power of x minus y. So what we have to do to the indices is that we have to subtract them. Now let's also take two different kinds of example on this law. Simplify 8a raised to the power of 5 divided by 2a raised to the power of 3. Now the first thing you have to do is to deal with the numbers. 8 divided by 2, which equals to 4. Then a raised to the power of 5 divided by a raised to the power of 3 is equal to a raised to the power of 5 minus 3. You subtract the indices from each other. So you have a raised to the power of 2. So therefore, 8 raised to the power 8a raised to the power of 5 divided by 2a raised to the power of 3 is equal to 4a raised to the power of 2. Let's take another example. Simplify 36x raised to the power of 5 y squared divided by 6x y raised to the power of 3. Now the first thing you have to do is to deal with the numbers. So 36 divided by 6, which is equal to 6. Then you move to the alphabet. X raised to the power of 5 divided by x. So I told you earlier that x is equal to x raised to the power of 1. So when you subtract the power from each other, you have x raised to the power of 5 minus 1, which equals to x raised to the power of 4. Now you move to y square divided by y cube. So you subtract the power from each other. You have y equals to 2 minus 3, which equal to y raised to the power of minus power 1. Of an index law. A raised to the power of x enclosed in bracket y is equal to a raised to the power of x multiplied by y, which equals to a raised to the power x y. So that means all you have to do is to multiply the indices together. Let's also take two examples on this law. Simplify m raised to the power of 3, all brackets raised to the power of 4. So how do you solve this? This means that 4 is the index of m raised to the power of 3. Hence, m raised to the power of 3, all closed in brackets raised to the power of 4, would be equal to m raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 4, which we have answered to be m raised to the power of 12. Let's take another example. Simplify 3z square, all closed in brackets raised to the power of 3. Now, like you know, the first thing to do is to deal with the number and do it separately from the letter z. 3 raised to the power of 3 is 27, and z raised to the power of 2, all enclosed in bracket 3, is equals to z raised to the power 2 times 3, and that's 6. That's z raised to the power 6. So 3 z raised to the power 2, all closed in bracket raised to the power 3, is equal to 27 z raised to the power of 6. The power of 0 law. This law is a very good and very simple and important one. If you miss this law in your calculation, you would always fall into error. The law is given as any number or letter raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Or we say a raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So that means that anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Let's say you were asked to simplify 2x raised to the power of 0 multiplied by 4y. What would be your result? Remember, anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, 2x raised to the power of 0 multiplied by 4y would become 2 times 1, because your x raised to the power of 0 now becomes 1, multiplied by 4y, which gives 2 times 4y, and our result is what? Is 8y. Now move to negative index law. This is when the index or power is a negative number. Hence, it's used for reciprocation. Therefore, a raised to the power of minus x would be equal to 1 all over a raised to the power of x. Let's use this law to solve problems. Simplify 3 raised to the power of minus 2 multiplied by 6. Now, using the negative index law, I will rewrite 3 raised to the power of minus 2 as 1 over 3 raised to the power of 2. Then we continue by multiplying 1 over 3 raised to the power of 2 by 6, which now gives us 1 over 9 multiplied by 6, which gives us 6 divided by 9, and you have 2 over 3. Let's take another example to explore this law further. Simplify 12x raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of minus 1. Using this negative index law, I will rewrite 3 raised to the power of minus 1 as 1 over 3. Then I will have 12 raised to the power of 12x raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 1 over 3, which is equal to 12x raised to the power of 4 divided by 3, and our final answer is 4x raised to the power of 4. The fractional index law. This is when the index or power is in the form of fraction a raised to the power of x all over y, which can be rewritten as white root of a raised to the power of x. As you can see that the transformation from a raised to the power of x over y to white root of a raised to the power of x is as a result of the denominator of the fraction y, which became white root of a, while x still remained as the index. Now let's take a few examples on this law to explore and to understand how to apply the law. Simplify 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3. Like the law says, the denominator of the fraction, which is 3, becomes the root of the base number 8, while 2 still remains as the index. Thus, the transformation will look like this. Third root of 8 raised to the power of 2. Like we know, the third root of 8 is 2. That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So 2 raised to the power 2 is equal to 4. Hence, 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3 is equal to 4. Let's take another example. Simplify 27 raised to the power minus 2 over 3. As you can see, the index is in negative. Therefore, I will have to rewrite 27 raised to the power of minus 2 over 3 as 1 over 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3. Now, using the fractional index law, the denominator 3 will become the root of 27, while 2 still remains as the index. Hence, we have something like this. 1 over third root of 27 raised to the power of 2, and the third root of 27 is 3. That's 3 times 3 times 3. That's 27. That's 1 over 3 raised to the power of 2, which is 1 over 9. Therefore, 27 raised to the power of minus 2 over 3 is equal to 1 over 9. Now, this brings us to the end of the class. So in the subsequent video, I'll be solving and explaining complex problem on indices. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get notified when I post any math video.